welcome to this episode of Mind My Business. I am super excited to be here with you, Mr. Bobby, in your Minifig shop. And I thought this would be a cool place to kind of kick stuff off so that people can see what you do, learn why you do it, figure out what exactly this place encompasses, because this is not an average Lego store, right? Like, this is not like...
It's a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different take on some things. I appreciate you coming, first of all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're a little bit of a lot. Mainly all Lego, though.
How did you get to the point where you get to be a kid for a living?
So I'll start so when I was a kid, I didn't have any Lego. My parents told me they were too expensive. So we kind of showed them a little bit, on the back end. We're getting around on a lot of Lego. My uncle, he's the other owner, and his wife, my aunt, they kind of, they got into this. He's a software engineer.
Okay.
And their oldest son loved Lego. It was like his thing. It was every day, what he had to have, right? So they kind of started buying and selling a little bit of stuff online. And my uncle's kind of wired in a way that things, he turns everything into something that makes sense.
Right?
He does. Yeah. He's
an engineer brain.
He is for sure. And so he kind of figured out, hey, I can buy this. My son Dom, he can take out what he wants, he can sell it, make a little bit of money. He did that online for several years. I was doing some other internet work and some stuff in Southeast Missouri. He's like, hey, why don't you do some of this, make a little bit of money on the side, right? So I did. And then I decided, hey, I'm just going to quit my job. I'm going to sell Lego online because it had worked fairly well as a side hustle, and he had done pretty well doing it as kind of a side thing too. I did that for a couple years. I'm the talker. He's the analyzer, the numbers guy, and the kind of make things go behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well. I lived in Southeast Missouri at the time. He was up here. So he's like, hey, come up here. I had a retail background. He said, come up here, let's open a store. I was like, gotta move, gotta comfort. There's, a little bit to that. Yeah. We sat down and July 4th of 2019, I think it was, somewhere around there. He's like, let's just do this. We were at a family barbecue for the 4th of July.
Time.
It worked out well. And I was like, let's go. So October of that year, we opened up right before COVID. And
that's what I meant, ironically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right before COVID. And here we go. I've been here ever since, plowing away.
Right on. So I didn't know that this started as an e-commerce venture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys had stock cumulative from doing that too, right?
Yeah, we had quite a lot. It was more in just the bulk Lego and the minifigures part. Sets are a little bit harder to ship and to handle that way and take up more space.
Yeah.
Because he was operating out of his basement when he was doing it. I was doing it out of a garage. It was shelves to the wall and a computer.
But neither one of you are really Lego enthusiasts in the sense that you're building that.
No, that's kind of, you don't want to tattle on us, right? But I mean, I like Lego.
Yeah.
But I don't like Lego. Like, you have some people do. My uncle's kind of the same way. My aunt, they like it, they enjoy it.
Sure.
But some people are very, very serious. And so I almost think that's a positive for us. I think some of our staff, I think they love it.
Yeah.
I think we really like it. And so people will say, well, do you hate to see stuff go? Not really, because there's more coming. There's not a lot of Lego in my house. It's kind of here.
Yeah.
So I separate a little bit, but yeah, it is kind of interesting. People think, oh, you must have a lot of Lego at home. You must just love it. Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. Let's not get crazy. But
we've had several conversations, and I still had an image of like just Bobby under the Christmas tree, like Legos.
Yeah, no, there's a box. There's a couple boxes in the closet, right? I mean, there's some stuff at home, but they're not Legos sprawled out like you would probably think. And like I said, my parents, it wasn't my thing. We didn't. My kids, they build and like it, but.
What about this location? What was the draw with Kirkwood, or was it by chance, or how did that happen?
So we looked at a few places. My uncle lives in Webster,
okay.
So it's close. And we, anytime you're trying to open a business, you're trying to see, well, who does this fit with? Well, how does this work,
sure.
Right? You're looking for traffic on the street. You're looking for
the right kind of foot traffic, too.
Right. Yeah. Well, and a lot of foot traffic here, and a lot of cars driving by every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of looking for that place that you feel like you kind of fit in. And this was it. They do a lot of things, Halloween walk,
sure,
Christmas stuff. They do them.
Well, there's always just like droves of kids.
Yeah. And it just seemed to fit, right? Kind of fell in, made sense as we went. Community's been really great to us. In almost 5 years we've been here too. it just worked. Sometimes things I think just kind of happen, and I think it worked out well.
Yeah, I would say it's going famously. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in here when there's not 8 people in.
I mean,
And for
normally,
a standalone retail, that's pretty impressive.
normally we'll stay pretty busy. We'll have something going on. Saturday, the weekends get wild. The weekends are a good time. We like the weekends a lot. You come in and people pull your hair out a little bit and see all this stuff flying around. But that's kind of the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
So when we tell you the story, first time when we opened, like the first week, I had my 2-year-old at the time.
Okay.
She's sitting over there building a table. We had like a 90-year-old couple in the back, right? And so my kids are doing their thing at this table. Those folks are back there picking pieces out of a bin, right? And so you think to that, there's a lot of life in that.
Between
Right?
the
There's
two.
a lot of life there.
Yeah.
So, and people doing it for so many different reasons. And I think that's kind of a cool thing about Lego is that it's
It's almost like the box. It's like from ages 4 to 99.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was like
fits for
in
everybody.
person.
Yeah. For all the different reasons, right?
I like that. There's always something new to see in here. I think that's one of the most interesting parts about coming in, weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, daily. I mean, when I come in, I notice something different all the time.
Yeah.
You know, is that a lot of the employees just being able to you're giving them free reign to be creative and do the fun stuff?
A lot of times, yeah. I mean, like the table up there now, like I said, Parker and Colin did that for us. We have some people from the local Lego group that help us out with doing displays. That's kind of the thing with Lego, right? Is the creativity of it, and you can take it, and you can do anything with it. And honestly, some of it just does it for itself, right? I mean, putting a set in the case, a pre-built set, that's new, but maybe you haven't seen it. You come by and you're like, well, that's really cool. I didn't do a whole lot. That's just a Lego set.
Right.
It's just cool. It just does its thing.
Well, the ceiling is multiplied.
Yeah. The planes are like rabbits. There's some of those guys hanging around for our May the 4th event. Something we kind of started to try to do every year, try to expand it every time we do it. And I had a basketball coach one time. He's like, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right? Because somebody else gonna be trying to do something.
Yeah.
Right?
When you're resting, somebody's practicing.
That's right. Yeah. So if you're not trying to improve it, like I said, come from retail. I think a lot of times you get, and I still do it, right? You get retail blind. Like you walk in and you see, okay, well, this is the store. I'm here today, right? And we still do that some, but I think walking in and trying to change things up or make things better, add this, add that, and that's one of the things Mike and Kelly are good at, and Michael, one of our other owners, is how do you what's next, right? What are we going to do now? How do you make it better? Where do you go from here? And like if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
And I think that it's obviously gotten better because when I first came in, the first time I came in here was to try and make minifigs. We had gotten the Home Alone set, and my favorite part of Home Alone is when they're trying to get back and they talk to the old couple.
Yeah.
And she's like, what about these earrings? And he's like, she's got a whole box at home, shoebox full at home, dangly ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, the way he said dangly ones was like that was like the crux of that whole movie for me. And so
made you happy.
Yeah, I came in here and made that couple.
Yeah.
So now our Home Alone set has that couple.
Yeah.
And like, if you know kind of a thing,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I enjoy about this is there's always Easter eggs. There's always, it's a very much, if you know kind of environment. But in that time period, shorter than that, right? You've gone from X amount of square feet to just knocking the walls out and going back. What's your expansion? How much room have you added on?
So we started at about 2,500 square feet,
Okay.
and we added around 1,400, which is a party room, a little bit more floor space, and an extra storage area, putting us up to about 3,900. We've also since then opened up an online store. Has about 5,500 items on there now.
Okay.
That added another 1,300 to 1,400-ish square foot of storage, like warehouse-ish space, so we can know what all we have.
What's the online? What's the handle on that?
Just the website for it.
Yeah.
It's just theminifigshop.com. There'll be an online store tab in the top left corner. You just hit that. We're shipping figures, parts, pieces, stuff like that. We got a lot of sealed sets, some really cool old Star Wars things on there.
Okay.
And like I said, he works real hard. They are adding stuff, taking pictures. Mike and Kelly, again, they're adding stuff back there every single day. I think he told me today, I think he had about 200 figures or so. So you figure, you're adding 200 on there, and open that up, I guess, October-ish.
Yeah.
So, we're at 8 months of that and 5,500 items. So he's cranking away on that pretty good.
And it's a good place to find those odd pieces.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
We've come in a couple different times because my sons will be 20 this month and 9. So basically, he turns that. So let's call it 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Either way, my little man has trouble keeping pieces.
Yeah.
And we've come in several times and been facilitated for just that one little piece that makes that bumper complete, or just that thing. How do you guys source that kind of stuff? Is there a rhyme or reason?
so some of the stuff that we some of it we will have. Mike will know where random crazy things are in a pile of stuff, right?
So he's one of those random camp guys.
Yeah, and yes, but organized.
Yeah.
We'll have things. There's multiple sorts to it, right? So we may get 300 pounds of Lego, just bulk Lego in a big bin, right? And so you have in your closet, you're like, the stuff's got to go. Spring cleaning. You get it out, we'll come buy that stuff from you. He'll go through, sort, clean, wash, sanitize, go through, pick out what's not Lego. He'll pick out what he wants to keep, wants to separate, and then he may separate down 4, 5, 6 levels, right?
Okay.
To get to Star Wars figures, and Star Wars figures, Scout Troopers to this kind of Scout Trooper. So there's a lot of sorting to that, and then he'll break that stuff, have it in bins. So if you come in and you say, well, I need Count Dooku's lightsaber hilt in chrome, right? Which is kind of hard to get a hold of.
Okay.
He'll know if we have that, or he'll know where to look. As far as just, and that'll be kind of more in the specialized pieces.
Mm-hmm.
In the random pieces, I mean, we'll help you look. I mean, we'll help you if we can, if it's where we're not covered up with people.
But I've
we'll
noticed
help you look.
that's kind of, I wouldn't say like sectioned off, but like it's kind of, there's a rhyme and reason to that as well. Because oftentimes I can tell like, they took apart a bunch of Bionicle sets this week, or they took apart a bunch of Harry Potter sets, or whatever it is, because it looks like there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, we'll try to leave some stuff in there too that will be
like starters.
Yeah, right. I mean, a lot of people like to take that stuff and put it back together.
Yeah.
Like people do all of it for many different reasons. But yeah, if we leave a Millennium Falcon that's 55, 60% of the way complete, and you know that's what it is, you want to look for parts, great. I mean, that's a project. That's something else. You can, like with your boys, you can start that stuff and off you go. The Bionicle pieces in there, people like those to kind of just create their own deal. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times there will be pieces in there. You may run across something like a flux capacitor from a Back to the Future car.
Right.
Some of those things may be $15, $20 pieces, but you just kind of leave some stuff in there, kind of digging for gems as you go.
True. So with there being randomized things within the boxes, and then you're helping find that stuff, and there's Bionicle pieces and other things. One of the other things I really like about this is the fact that you will buy back Legos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so many people like myself have kids that maybe they're outgrowing, and now that's the new sewing room. Do people have sewing rooms anymore? I don't know if they have that. Exercise room?
We don't want me to sew.
We don't want me to sew either.
Exercise rooms are pretty much a coat rack.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
shirt hangers.
Whatever they're going to turn the kids' room into.
You can tell from this physique, right?
Our physical prowess precedes us.
That's right.
But what brought that about, or is that part of the e-commerce thing? So you guys already kind of had a handle on that, like
so we didn't
price-wise?
We would buy and sell bulk. We would buy stuff and sell bulk online, but the
is it like metal though? Because like you have a price per pound.
Yes and no, right?
And sometimes like scrap metals and stuff have fluctuate, right?
It can vary a little bit. But so the trick is if you bring in a bin, right? I need to be able to look at that and need to say, okay, well, are there Nerf darts in it? You have pets? So is there pet hair in it? Because that's a different approach. Does it smell like smoke? Does it have to function with that? What percentage of it is off-brand Lego pieces? So it can change and move around a little bit based on that stuff, right? Because that
What's
all takes
the smoke
time.
procedure for Lego? Is there one?
Vinegar. White vinegar will take out the smell. It's a chemical reaction. Yeah, white vinegar added to washing will help to take out the smoke smell.
Pet hair?
Pet hair's not as easy. Pet hair's more of a by hand type of deal.
One by one.
Washing by hand and make some tough decisions sometimes. If you got something that's rough, you just get rid of it and move on.
Yeah.
So the buying and selling training is a huge part of our business, right? So you're trying to find what do we.
That sounds like it's the basis of your business.
It is, yeah, and it all comes to small business, right? So why does somebody come see us? Why would they come and visit us as opposed to going to the Lego store, right? Or Walmart or Target, right? And so the answer is you try to provide something that they don't in those used items and the ability to trade stuff. Kind of people use it as a tool to teach their kids, the value of things, right? So if I trade this in, I can get something else, and this is mine, and I worked hard for it, and so there's some learning lesson fun to that aside from cleaning some of the stuff out of your house that you may have wanted to move and purge to make something smaller.
Right.
And we kind of view it as a customer service thing as well, right? It's something that we try to offer to again separate us. Customer service itself, I think, is the other reason. I want to, like, I'll know your name when you come in, right? I'll get more messages.
And the whole staff you have is like that too. There's no.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know that there's one person here that's ever been anything but friendly.
Well, I mean, that's how, and if it ever is, you let me know. That's just how it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
I'll get more messages on Thanksgiving and on Christmas from people that come in here and shop that are friends than I do my family, right? And my family's good folks, right? But I'll get more messages from those guys, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stuff like that, because that's the difference.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
It's kind of like having a fan base.
It is.
But and it's Lego fan base.
Yeah. Well, and Lego is there's a lot of things, I guess, that are like this, but it's a pretty close knit group of people. We have a group of ladies, 50s to 7. One of them's birthday was today. She turned 78 today. But they'll come in every week and they'll call or text each other, and they'll come in, they'll meet up for their little parts digging gang that they've got back there, and they'll pick out pieces, put stuff back together for their grandkids or nieces, nephews, and they'll be in here 5, 10, 15 hours a week, just hanging out, checking things. It's kind of a social, fun thing to get out and do.
And you have the birthday parties too now, right?
Yeah. And that's part of that. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. We added birthday parties. We do those a couple different ways, where you get the entire store, or you do the party room. We have summer camps we're doing. We started those last year.
Oh, cool.
We're doing those again this year as well. Those are starting up next week.
Is it like a full day camp, or how's that going to operate?
We do those 8 to 11, right? So we do it for a week,
Okay.
but they're 8 to 11. The reason we do that is because we are open at 11. We're open every day from 11 to 6. We want it to be where it's closed down, and those are, like I said, those are 11 or 8 to 11, Monday through Friday. We're doing 4 of those this year. Last year we did 2. So we're all adding the online store, those things. I have a guy who's a pretty popular stop motion guy. I'd like to get him in to teach a class.
Yeah.
We travel around a little bit, and we do some different conventions with some local places too.
Like trade shows?
Yeah.
Because I would liken this to, growing up, I always went to like hobby shows with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And he was big on models.
Yeah.
And we all enjoyed trains. And that's kind of what, like you were talking about with this community of people.
Right.
It's very similar. Like, just like with trains and models, people will come a really long way to get that Lego pirate set.
Yeah.
That it's not easy to get.
Yeah, and some of it's kind of the hunt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of part of it, like the digging in the bins over there. That's not my thing, but I think a lot of times just the kind of the hunt for things like that. And yeah, we'll go to some of those trade shows, some of those exhibit shows and stuff that travel around with some friends of ours that we know pretty well. And again, a lot of that's just community, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't mind at some point trying to do something here. So some kind of community type of event together here. That's, again, you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Right.
So that's kind of on the burner. But what we found with putting things on the burner is our list of things to get done now is longer than it was when we started. So,
Well, because you have all these ideas, and it's hard to execute.
Yeah. Time is, we haven't figured out how to make more time.
But the random Lego bins that are pictured in the back of us here, that is actually another reason we come very often, is because with my older son, we would get Lego sets, and my older son was very calm. He was very much like, build it, put it on the shelf. Maybe play with it for a little bit, build it, put it on a shelf. Tyson is not that way. Blair was calm. Tyson's a tornado, and it was getting very frustrating to buy these very expensive sets and get him home. Then he's got like the Avengers like base.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's $80. And then like, where's the book? Now it's broken. You can put it back together. I got so frustrated. And I've let go of that kind of thing now, because I'm not like, what am I going to do? I'm going to resell this at any point. Now I actually can in parts. Yeah. But coming in here, he's able to build giant bases or do whatever. And then we're just paying by the pound. And it's like, cool, man, you built that with your hands. So 1, it's his own creativity, which I love. 2, I'm paying by the pound, which is an absolute exceptional bargain when it comes to Legos. So that's fantastic. You guys do that. And 3, if it gets destroyed, I'm not like all fussy, because I'm pretty OCD.
Yeah.
So some of those sets, I'll be like, oh, maybe I better buy 2.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a great idea. You should buy 2.
Yeah.
But my thing is on that is, I want to build it.
Yeah.
I want to put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to touch it again.
Mhm.
But like you said, there's a lot of people that's not how they operate. They want to build it and they want to drive it off the table, or they want to modify it or make it better, make it bigger or better. So and it kind of goes back to the, my 2-year-old and a 90-year-old, a couple who come in, they're different, and there's all those different reasons in the middle for why they're doing it.
Right.
Because you couldn't pay me enough money to go dig in the bins and to look for things. But like I said, we have people do it 10, 15 hours a week and just love it. And they tell me it's therapeutic, which seems a little
in the same
bizarre
way that
to
like
me.
antiquing can be, I guess, right? Like
Sure.
you're searching for something, when you find that treasure, when you
Yeah.
find that, that piece that's transparent green or whatever,
Yeah.
that like completes your UFO, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And
So,
it's funny because we call them treasures, right? Because we have this husband and wife. They have a little guy. His name's Apollo. They come in. They're in here every week.
Yeah.
They come in. If they're not here by 5:30 on Friday, I'm worried about them. So they come in and they're building like this huge custom Devastator transformer. You remember that from huge old Connecticon type thing? Super awesome. Destructicons. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. He'll be ashamed of me on that. So they come in and he'll look through the bins and he's looking through everything and he's digging out the bottom and he'll be, I found a treasure. So it's funny you say that because he's always digging for treasure.
it is Devastator.
I think it is Devastator.
We're gonna find out in the comments because my
arrogance. Somebody will be upset.
My arrogance coming over the top of the Destructicator.
It's something. I'll Google it when we get out of here because that's gonna drive me nuts.
But I think I still have like 3 of the actual
the pieces
ones that go
together.
together. I have the cement truck and the crane and something else.
Yeah.
But those are pretty cool. So what do you think future-wise, like, what do you know is going to happen in the next 2 years? If the sky was the limit, what happens in the next 5 years? Or is that too far out? Still what? Present day guy?
I'd like tomorrow to be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it tonight and see how tomorrow goes.
You seem like you may be a little more on the engineer side. I'm grandiose, I think.
Well, it would be nice at some point, right, to have, if you make a decision, right? I mean, it's super cool. You see these big buildings. It'd be nice to have 10,000 square feet, and you walk in and there's a 8-9 foot Hulk standing there, or 2-story building, or what. There's thoughts and ideas and things that would be interesting to try to create. I'd like to make everything here as perfect and good as it can be. And what ends up or what we run across in time, just keep an eye out for it. See what happens.
Yeah. Well, so far it's exceptional. I mean, it's one of the most fun places I've been. I think it is. It's great that you have these open spots. Like, I've been to a lot of different kind of concepts, but like being able to sit down and play and not feel rushed.
Yeah.
Not being overwhelmed or being like, oh, move along, like it's this kid's turn, and having enough space to do that, and then having all these enthusiasts being able to come in and find things, like you're saying, like the treasures or the stuff, and just looking around. It's a really remarkable place, and I'm really excited that we got to sit down and talk and learn more about it. And I couldn't be happier for you guys, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah, we're excited to see what we can come up with too, and that the part of that what you just said is very important to us. The point was, we want it to be someplace that you can bring your niece, nephew, grandkids, son, different other, whatever. We want you to be able to come in to do something for a little bit that day, right?
Yeah.
Obviously we sell things, right?
Sure.
But you can go a lot of places where it feels like a store. And that's never really been kind of our plan. The plan was to make it a place where a community comes and you can do something.
It feels like
Something
a
to go
library,
do.
but instead of books, there's
Something to go do for the day, right? Who most kids don't wake up and say, let's go shop, right? They wake up and say, well, let's go build Lego, or let's go, hopefully they say, well, let's go to the Minifig shop today. But they're not saying, well, let's go shop, because kids don't want to shop. They want to go do something today. So
I'm going to go peruse the mall today. It's got to be some window shopping.
Yeah, let's see if we could find a purse or something.
My 8th birthday is coming up in 3 months. So.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do that. But that's it's very nice and important, I think, that you say that, because that's always kind of been the goal, is to try to be a place that's a part of the community and knows the people, and the people knows us.
For sure.
That's always been very important to us.
So besides the minifigshop.com, right? You have a presence on YouTube now very recently, right?
We have just started on YouTube, TikTok.
Okay.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And some of those things are kind of in their infancy, right? We're looking to grow those. I feel like that's something, you talk about getting better, what you're doing as time goes by. That's something that we've neglected a little bit, and trying to get basic things and just things functioning as well as they can.
Sure.
That's something we're looking to expand upon and to kind of get going in this year coming up. Well, that's
But some of it's in the infancy, so there's growing pains.
Well, sure, and you're learning. It's some of the guys who are here, right, who are kind of starting and doing that for us, and so it's a figuring stuff out kind of as you go. We've done a lot of things like that where it's, like we laid the carpet here, right? I mean, so we're a little bit, I guess, control freaks, or we like to have what we're doing. Lay the tile, we laid, put up the drywall, do those things.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, we take a little bit of joy and pride in the struggle that is kind of figuring stuff out as you go, probably to an ignorant level sometimes. But yeah, Colin's been working on that a lot lately.
Awesome. And we'll include all the links in that.
That'd be awesome.
And we're excited to see where you guys are at in a year.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.